Here we go. Hi, welcome to the Luxury Travel Entrepreneur. This is your host, Angela Hughes, bringing you the secrets to success for growing your luxury travel business. Tune in today as I share my personal experiences as a luxury travel marketing and business strategist and to provide you the tools to build and scale your own thriving business. Welcome to the show today, Angela Macaluso with Italy by Experts and Sicily by Experts. We've had her on many times. Yes, she is an all-star with us. So do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Ciao Angela, and ciao to everybody, and welcome to this nice meeting today. I'm very happy to see you again, and I am very happy that a lot of our travel advisors can follow this particular day dedicated to really a particular destination in Italy, Sardinia. My name is Angela Macaluso. I think that mostly of your travel advisors now know me. And I am CEO of Sicily and Italy by Experts. It's a DMC particular project. As I define this project, is a luxury container of different travel advisors and specialists of Italy from all over Italy. Each one of us is a specialist of their own destination, our own destination, but together with a unique project called the Italy by Experts. In this way, the travel advisors will have always a special dedication, because each time we will have an itinerary done by the experts, local experts, and the clients, that is the most important thing, will have a local concierge, a local expert at their disposal 24 hours on 24 hours during their holiday. So this is in two words, in few words, the project Italy by Experts.
Now, we were just in France together. We had so much fun in Cannes, didn't we?
We enjoyed it so much, and I enjoyed to see you, and I hope now to see you in my land, so in Sicily, in Puglia, in Sardinia, very, very soon.
Yes, and don't tell all of our secrets. Stay on till the end of the show because we have some really amazing things coming up. And we've been putting these together for almost a year. So this isn't just something we pulled out of a hat. This is actually something we've been working on, and COVID kind of slowed us down a little bit. But before we get into that exciting news about what Angela is going to be offering the viewers today in the luxury travel universe, let's talk about Sardinia. Why Sardinia? Why Sardinia before we go into the presentation?
You know that I am Sicilian, and you know I love Italy in general, but naturally I love my island. I am Sicilian. I am an islander, Isolana. I love the islands, and I think that Sardinia and Sicily are really the two gems of Italy. In fact, there is a beautiful project that we are going to be live in 2 weeks, and I will tell you at the end what is the project. But Sardinia is because is very known for famous for the coastline, the beaches, and so on. But like Sicily, Sardinia is much more. I mean, Sardinia interior is home to one of the world's most intriguing architectural marvels. We have 7,000 mysterious stone towers, for example, known as nuraghi. We have the tombs of giants, sacred wells, dolmens, and we have amazing food and the people, because why Sardinia is why Sicily? Because you know that we are very famous for our experiential and relational tourism. Relational tourism for me is the base of my project. Relationships for me is the base of everything in life, not only in personal life, but also in tourism. Now more than before, we talked already about that, and I hope that we will go in deep in another day with the relational tourism in Italy, because people now are looking more than before about relationships, and Sardinia and Sicily are the best places. are not very touristic in terms of tourism, as we know. No, it's not the luxury destination in terms of luxury. I mean, there is a part of Sardinia, like in Sicily. There is in Sicily Taormina, that is very luxury, very chic, very known. And there is Costa Smeralda in Sardinia that is very chic, very known, very luxurious. But the two islands are not just that part. The two islands are very beautiful in terms of nature, in terms of food, in terms of people. There you can find really relationships. I mean, when you arrive in Sardinia, it's like when you arrive in Sicily, in the inland, you feel like home. They welcome you like they know you from many, many years, and you feel like you are at home in a family. And this is what I loved more about this island. Naturally, there are a lot of beauty in the island, but this is what touched my heart.
Okay, if we have new advisors on here that don't know how to get a client to Sardinia, which airport are they going to fly into? And if they're flying their person into Rome or Naples, what would be the direction from there as well?
There is only one problem in Sardinia, and it's almost the same that we had for many years in Sicily, and sometimes we have. That is not the problem is that we don't have a lot of good connections, and in particular way in some of the most beautiful months for me, April, for example, October, November. You can arrive, there are different airports. You have Olbia, you have Alghero, you have Cagliari, and you can arrive easily from many towns in Italy. But what we suggest generally to people that arrive for the first time, we suggest to go a couple of days in Roma, naturally. So they arrive in Roma, and then it's easy from Roma to Olbia, from Roma to Cagliari. There are also some low cost. So with 100 euro, you can do round trip. The only problem is that for example, in April, you don't find so many flights. You find only ITA, that is the Exal Italia, but you don't find a lot of companies with low cost. You need to wait until May, and this is why we cannot do the farm tour in April, because May is for them the start of the season.
Okay, so the season goes from. So let's recap for a minute. She's suggesting that you fly your people into Roma, do a few days there, and then you're going to take a low-cost carrier to one or two of the different airports in Sardinia. Correct?
Correct. Correct. And
more time for our viewers. The airport names in Sardinia.
You can fly into an airport and go out from another airport, because Sardinia is not so little. It's a big island,
yeah.
And 1 week is not enough to visit the whole island. So what we suggest is to concentrate everything to a part of the island, the northwest or the south. Or if they don't care about moving every 2 days, they can arrive in Olbia and fly out from Cagliari, so they can see at least half of the island. So you can arrive in an airport and fly out from another one.
Okay. So, and then she's saying, just to recap, season starts in May for Sardinia and ends when? October? Yeah, October. Okay, so if you're thinking April, March, like you could in other destinations in Italy, that's not going to work for you.
Okay, March for me, March, April, October, beginning of November are the best months to visit places like that, because June, July, August, as you can imagine, are very months apart. The prices are very high. There are a lot of people going there for the beautiful beaches. So I prefer April. And the only thing is that you cannot find a lot of hotels opened yet, but you find some of them, and you don't find a lot of flights. But the suggestion is, if you are in April in Italy, visiting Tuscany or Umbria or Roma, for a couple of days, I think that it's worth going in Sardinia, because you will fall in love with it. It's a beautiful destination.
Okay, well, it looks like we have viewers listening and watching all over the world. And people are saying, like, nobody ever focuses on Sardinia. So people are really, really interested in this topic today. So let's dive in, friends, into her PDF that we've got. I'm going to add that to the screen and we're going to get going on how you can market and sell this better to your clients. And really, Sardinia and Sicily, I feel like becomes a destination for people who have been to Italy at least one time. Now you're adding either an extension, but we're developing Sicily and Sardinia into a destination of its own. I really see that as its own individual place to go.
Absolutely.
That might be different. Okay, so let's look at the presentation real quick. Okay, so
this is the presentation, and I call it the Sardinia behind the sea, because as I told you before, Sardinia is very known for the beautiful beaches, and we will talk about that, because naturally we cannot forget that Sardinia is one of the most beautiful destinations in Italy for the beaches, but it goes behind the sea, as I told you at the beginning.
And I feel like people just don't even know this exists over there. They go to all of the major spots, and then if you're not European, I don't hear many Americans saying, I've got to go to Sardinia.
It's true. It's true. Until 10 years ago, let's say 10 years ago, Sicily was the same. I mean, people, clients generally comes 3, 4, 5 times in Italy, and they go always in beautiful places, but always in the same places: Venice, Roma, Tuscany, Amalfi Coast.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 10 years, they are little by little discovering the south. So they discovered the Puglia, that is an amazing destination too, and they discovered Sicily, that is a destination that can be sold apart, not as an extension of 2-3 days, but like the whole week. And in the last 2 years, I think that clients are looking for something different. They never thought that Sardinia could be a destination,
Right.
because this is the sensation that I have. Our American clients generally, when we talk with them about Sardinia, they say, "Oh no, we have beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, in Mexico, Caribbean, so we don't need to go to spend our time or few time that we have in Italy to go in Sardinia, that it will be beautiful for the beaches, but we have many of them in our house." And I try to explain them that Sardinia is not only beaches. I mean, if you go there one day dedicated to one of the most beautiful beach in Sardinia, it's worth the pain. But Sardinia is more than that. And I think that now clients are looking for something different. And from last year, I saw an interest from Americans towards Sardinia. They are requiring information about Sardinia, what they can see, what is the best period, how many days. The only thing is that not a lot of travel advisors know the destination.
That's right.
Because it was not a destination until a couple of years ago.
It's a destination now. Okay, next slide. Here we go. So
this is just a description of the beautiful Sardinia that, as I say, captivates with everything, with the hinterland, with the beaches, with the eccentricities that the island has. There are beautiful coastal drives, prehistoric puzzles. Don't forget that in Sardinia we have those 7,000 mysterious stone towers that are known as nuraghi and exist just in Sardinia. So every time you go in Sardinia, you can do a lot of things. You have white and beaches and the blue sea. You can play a castaway on some coves. You can walking barefoot across the dunes, because we have also a beautiful beach dune that we will talk about, and you can really do lot of things in this island. And I put one of the map just to give you an idea of how big is the island. I mean, it's not an island that you can do in 2-3 days. And as I suggested to you at the beginning, it's preferable to concentrate the holiday in a part of Sardinia. Can be northwest, can be southeast.
I actually thought it was just a couple of days in my mind, so I'm really glad that we clarified that.
No,
Okay.
no, no. It's more than that.
So let's go to the Northwestern and Eastern Sardinia. And look at those waters, you guys. This is really, when people always want Greece, but I'm kind of feeling like Sardinia is like a hot spot for me now.
I think that everybody think the same. I mean, there is something that I have to confess. I mean, for me, the most beautiful beaches all around Italy. Italy has beautiful beaches, as you know, and clear waters almost everywhere, from Puglia to the coast of Tuscany, Amalfi Coast, and so on. But I always, in my mind, until years ago, I thought that Sicily had the most beautiful beaches and water all over Italy. A couple of years ago, a friend of mine, when I talked about beaches and the water of seawater of Sicily, he told me Sicily is beautiful, but you have never seen the real seawater in your life. You have to come in Sardinia. And we joked about that thing because I thought it was not true. When you arrive in Sardinia, also a Sicilian that has the habitude to white beaches and beautiful clear waters, open the eyes and say, oh my God, I am in paradise. And it's true that the color of the water in Sardinia is so magical and unreal. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Look at that. Okay, so let's talk about this this Northwestern and Eastern Sardinia for a minute.
This is where I concentrate mostly my attention. I mean, I like also the south, but what I loved more of this island was in the northwest. You have to know that the northwest is very known for the La Maddalena, Costa Smeralda, so the most known places in Sardinia. And I wanted, with some locals and my locals, try to find something different, unknown, more authentic, all in the same place, in the same corner of the island where there is the most known and rich part, that is Costa Smeralda, because I wanted that they can put in evidence the fact that also in a place where there is the Costa Smeralda, that is the most known area of Sardinia, there are a lot of things to do, and there is the authenticity. So what we tried to do is put together a 7 nights tour that start in Olbia and end in Olbia. We stay not in hotels that are on the beach. I mean, in 1 week, you can see one beach, but for the rest of the week, you will go inland. You will go to try the pasta, the very known pasta that we will talk about in a couple of minutes, in a mama, so in a local family, a Sardinian family. You can go trekking in Barbagia, so in the mountains with a beautiful landscape. You can see beautiful beaches and coves and the sea, the color of the sea. But you go trekking up, and you will be guest of a shepherd family. So you will stay 1 day with them to learn how they do the cheese. You know, the cheese is one of the best products of Sardinia. And so you will go there and stay with them, spend with them some hours to know in what way they live. We go in Orgosolo, that is another little town very known for the murales, and it was like it's a protesta, so it's something against the rules of government and so on. So you will go to see some of the most authentic things of Sardinia, and in particular way you will go to stay with locals. This was the most important thing. And
Well, I just actually learned two things. I didn't realize cheese was a big product there. And I love that whole piece of doing authenticity with you, of going, staying with locals. I mean, you don't get that so much in Italy, where people go on site and mingle so much with the locals outside of a cooking class. So I love how you always bring in those that authenticity into the trip to make it more personal. And that's what really captivates this area.
Because to know, I remember I told this thing also for Sicily. To know a destination in deep, you have to be in contact with the locals. I mean, I respect the guides. I am a guide too. In our tours, you have the local guides. Because we have to have the local guides, they are professionals, but next to them we have locals, we have people. So for example, if we want to explain the cheese, how it's done, the taste, how they obtain this tasteful cheese, we don't go just with the local guide, but we go with the local guide and the shepherd, because the shepherd does the cheese. He knows his work, he knows the history, he knows the mountains. And so we prefer to put next our local guides also the locals, so the people. And this is for me the key to know really a destination. If you want to understand the soul of a place, if you want to understand the heart of this destination, you have to be in contact with the locals.
I agree. Okay, let's move on here for a minute because we've got a lot to cover in a short time. Look at these slides, you guys, of this water. I'm slightly just enamored right now at the color, sneaking away. I love the whole idea that you can be in Italy, in Roma, and then you can pop over here because I like a little city and I like a little beach. And so this is really
this is the best.
Breathtaking. Okay.
Those are some of, for example, Sardinia is also a destination for history lovers. And people generally, when they think about history, they think about Roma, they think about Tuscany, Florence, they think about Venice, they think about Sicily. They don't think about Sardinia. For history lovers, Sardinia is marvelous because away from its famous coastline, we have, as I told you, 7,000 mysterious stone towers known as nuraghi. You can find the picture on the left side. We have the tombs of giants. We have dolmens. We have tombs of giants. You can see in Arzachena on the picture on of the right side. We have ancient towns like the city of Nora, an island rich in monuments that testify the presence of ancient people and civilizations. You have to understand that among the first to discover the magnificent scenery that this beautiful island hides were the Nuragic people who were there, inhabited the island between 1800 and 1000 BC. So it's an island that has a very old history. And to learn more about this civilization today, you have to just visit the many Nuragic villages that you have all over the region. One of the most famous is the Sunurax di Barumini, that is now part of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites since 1997, if I don't remember bad. And then you have the Nurago of Serra Rios in Dorgali, the Nurago of Santo Antino in Torralba. You have many Nuraghi all over the island. So, and this is history. And you have the giant tombs and sacred wells that were the funerary monuments belonged to the Nuragic age. You have the Domus de Janus, fairy houses. It's called the fairy houses. That dated back to the Neolithic period. You have Roman sites. You don't think that, for example, Sardinia can be the house of Romans. There are numerous testimonies of Roman sites in Sardinia, which are also evident in many of the centers already conquered by Phoenicians and Carthaginians. For example, you have the amphitheater of Tigelios Villa in Cagliari, for example, or the Villa of Porto Conte, the rural villa from the Republican era of Olbia, and many, many others. So it's really a place for historian lovers that worth the pain to be visited.
Okay, let's move on here. We're going to speed this up a little bit just for the sake of time. Many beaten opportunities off the path. So.
Because we talked also about Sicily, about that. We like naturally when you go in a destination, you go to visit the most known places. But next to that places, you have to go off the beaten track. And also in Sardinia we do that because Sardinia, as you told at the beginning, it's not very known from clients, Americans in particular way.
Mm-hmm.
Is a little known island that we can say floating around the north of Italy. But it's the sort of place you could spend your life without knowing that it exists, because until a couple of years ago, sometimes clients say, Sardinia, where is it? They didn't know where it was positioned. But as you arrive in Sardinia and pass through one town to another, you will stumble upon gorgeous houses that are planted onto masses of green grass and vegetation. You are surrounded in some days, especially in the morning, by delicate breaths of a light fog. The light of the sun generally will fall into you such a way that all the landscape look borderline heavenly. So, and that's in this moment that you realize, so I answer to your question, why Sardinia, that this is the place you have been meaning to visit for your whole life. I can assure you it's a magical place. And it's also the sort of place where it's easy to go off the beaten track and discover many things. These, for example, pictures that I put you in this slide, you have the Stazzo. The Stazzo is, the name Stazzo derives from the Latin statue, which means station or stopover point, and refers to a typical rural country house. Many of them are in Gallura. And this is the second pictures under the house with the murales. So this is the Stazzo, for example. It's a traditional rectangular homes that shows how important farmers were for the island life. Then you have, for example, the open markets. It's the first picture on the right, on the upper part. Open markets, for me, the open markets in general, in many regions, not only in Sardinia, is the best place where you can go in touch with locals.
Yeah.
And if you are looking to lose yourself in the local culture, the proof is stay in a market. They are cheap, they are cute, they are full of artisan goodies. Last time we went there with a farm tour, we stopped in one of the open market, and the lady that sold the cheese started to distribute the cheese for free to the audience, and made pictures with them like she knew them for many years. And so it's a place where you will be in contact with locals. You can sit down for a cappuccino, relax in the shade of orange trees, but in the same time, you can see the man next door, next to you, that sell, for example, fruits, fresh fruits. And markets generally in Sardinia are on Thursday or Sunday, Sunday afternoon sometimes. And you are sure that in the open market, you can learn words such as rallenta, slow down, or fermati, stop, because whilst you are there, the life is really peaceful, is slowing down. You can lose yourself in inhabited islands. There are amazing islands into the island, and Sardinia, also for the islands, there are many people that from all over the world, when they come in Sardinia, they hire a speedboat, a yacht, or a boat to visit the archipelago, so all the little islands. The islands are really very particular, unique, because out of all the island of Sardinia, you will find little islands like Isola Brudelli, that is a gorgeous island, best known in Sardinia for the Spiaggia Rosa, the pink beaches.
Let me stop you for 1 second. If someone's coming there, what is going to be their mode of transportation? Are they going to have a private driver the whole time, or is there local transportation, or how is a client going to get around to some of these little villages?
You have to hire a car, so you can drive by yourself and get lost in some of the places. Or the best way is to hire a driver guide that transport you all over the best places and the island. Unfortunately, the local buses or the trains are not
not up to speed. So you're going to either have to have a driver or you're going to have to rent a car there. Okay. Okay. Let's move on here. Food and wine. Okay. We know that Sicily is so big on food and wine. Tell us, is it different there?
Absolutely. We talked about Sicily, and we knew as that the Sicilian food is one of the best. But again, I can assure you that Sardinia is not less than that. Sardinia's food is unique and delicious. Food in Italy is, I think that everybody of you knows, food in Italy is very regional, which means that you will eat in Sardinia, what you will eat in Sardinia or in Sicily cannot really be easily found in the rest of the country. And this is for each region. What's it's interesting about food in Sardinia is that Sardinia is an island, and you can imagine that the most important food is the fish. But the most traditional food in Sardinia is based on meat products. And the strong focus is on the pork, the porceddu, the little pork of Sardinia. And then you have some of the best pecorino cheese you'll ever taste.
Yeah.
This is because the traditional activities in Sardinia, as I told you at the beginning, includes sheep farming, and food usually reflects the culture of a place, its people, its history, its tradition, and the dominations that affected it. And the most important food in Sardinia is meat and cheese. If you look at the pictures that I put you, look on the left upper part. This is the bread. The bread in Sardinia, there is no other brand similar to this one all over Italy. It's very particular. It's called the pani carasau. It's a thin, incredible crispy. It's probably the most well-known Sardinian bread outside of the island. You can find in the supermarkets, but you can find mostly in the open markets. And it's produced in a particular way. The taste is amazing in the region of Barbagia. It has a flavor that is particular. If you add on it olive oil and salt, you can make the pani cutiao. But I warn you, it's highly addictive, and I can tell you because I start eating this bread for the whole week, and it's like chips. You cannot stop.
That's the whole problem with Italy when you go there. Pretty much Europe in a whole for me, you can't stop. And that's contributed to probably at least 35 unwanted pounds on my body because I spend so much time abroad. So, okay, let's move on for a minute. We've got lots of people joining in. We've got a really good audience today. Okay, look at this. Wow.
This is a winery. This is a winery because there is as I told you, in Sardinia there is a lot of good food: the cheese, the pane, the pasta. Because we didn't talk about the fregola, that is the particular pasta of Sardinia that we can do with the local mama and learn how to do it. It's a long process, but we didn't talk about wines, because generally when we think about the wines of Italy, we think about Piemonte, Tuscany, the Prosecco in the Veneto area, and from a couple of years also about Sicily, that has amazing wines. But the wines in Sardinia are also very good. Sardinia is the home of the Cannonau. This is one of the best known wine, but also the Vermentino and the Carignano. These are the three of the most islands known grapes. But there are also a lot of indigenous varieties that you can discover, and there are beautiful wineries. During the tour, you can generally we organize one or two stops in niche wineries, because we go to search for local wineries where you can meet the owner and learn how their Cannonau or the Vermentino is done.
Okay, we're going to keep moving on. There's so much we could talk about. This almost deserves two presentations because we've only got about 15 minutes left. I know we've got questions. So let's talk about the beaches for a minute. Where do you want to be?
Those are some. I had a lot of difficulties to choose the pictures of the beautiful beaches of Sardinia, because, as I told you, even in a country like Italy where there are gorgeous beaches, the Italians admit that those beaches in Sardinia are bellissime, very beautiful, because the island is very known for the best beaches, but there's beaches that are ranging from the rugged cliff-baked coves of the east to the dune-flanked strands of the west. So you have mesmerizing turquoise seawater, and you have also it's like a magical exotic world, Sardinia, in this sense. This beautiful island is like a tropical paradise with an Italian touch, because at the same time in Sardinia, in terms of beaches, you feel like you are in a gorgeous coastline of southern Italy. You feel like you have the lush beaches of the Caribbean, but also the rich colorfulness of Northern Africa countries like Morocco. Sardinia has really beaches and bluer than blue seas, respect the Caribbean, but has also amazing coves. If you look some, I put some of them because really there are hundreds, and it's impossible to mention all them. Isarutas, it's one of my favorite. It's this one in the center. Or La Marineda, Isola Rossa. So you swim next to some red rocks. Or La Pelosa, or Punta Molentis, that is the one here, the last picture on the right side, Cala Golorizz. There are really so many beaches that it's impossible to mention all them. The most important thing that I can tell you is that generally, you know, that the Italians from June to August, they go to the best beaches all over Italy, and we generally tell clients, don't go in August, don't go in July, because the beaches are full of people, especially the Italians in vacation. In Sardinia, you don't have this. I mean, July and August are the months where you have a lot of people there, but Sardinia has so many little coves that it's very impossible to not find a free beach, because you find easily lot of coves in the corners of each town, each beach. So it's really impossible that you don't find place. The only thing is that during summer is hot, but you can find easily lot of beaches.
Everybody's going nuts over that. Lisa Jostad said, wow, gorgeous. I know I want to get Lisa over there with me. So we've got so many great advisors watching right now. Susie, Julie. Okay, here we go. We've got some outdoor adventure. We only have 5 more minutes, and we probably are going to have to do another presentation on Sardinia. So let's go 3 more minutes and then take
just a couple of minutes. You can imagine that Sardinia is also very important for outdoor activities. We can go trekking, beautiful trekking on those mountains overlooking the blue waters. We can go canoeing. We can go underwater to discover a beautiful town underwater. You can go biking, and you can also walk in some of the beautiful dunes of Sardinia. So it's also a place for outdoor activities, because in Sardinia there is a wild nature, untouched nature, and it's magnificent.
Yeah, Bianca Salvador says it's so beautiful. I absolutely have to visit. So, and look, there's so many outdoor adventures that you can do too. So this is not only a great place to honeymoon, have a wedding, but it's for your outdoor enthusiast as well. That's something I just learned today that I haven't connected with Sardinia before, is all of the outdoor things that you can do. Okay. There is not in Italy what there is in Sardinia. So let's end with this slide here, and then we're going to take questions. So give me your questions, you guys. We're going to open it up for about 5 minutes for questions. So wrap it up for us, Angela. Angela to Angela today.
Angela and Angela, the two angels.
Yeah.
But while we are waiting for some questions, I can say you that there is not in Italy what there is in Sardinia is true, because in Sardinia there are, as you learned today, a lot of things to do, and very different from the other regions of Italy. And another thing is that it's an authentic place to discover the aim of Italy.
Okay, real quick, because even though we don't have questions in the queue right now, what can somebody, in terms of, we didn't really talk where people would stay, what's kind of the options there for hotels? Because I would imagine it's more boutique versus, big high-end resorts, so to speak. Tell us about, what can we expect?
You have some big resort in a particular way in the most known area, but I can say you that in Sardinia there are a lot of boutique hotels, beautiful little boutique hotels on the beach, but also inland, where you can find really authentic things. I didn't talk about that because we had no time, and I tell you that it will be online in 2 weeks. But we are connecting Sardinia and Sicily with a project. You told this at the beginning. I want
to let's talk about that really quick. We have so much exciting news coming out of Angela's little shop over in Sicily. So we are going to have 3 fam trips this year working with her, 3 separate ones. And we're just going to drip kind of what we are doing today. So, okay, first of all, before we tell, I know, it's so exciting. We do have a couple questions that just came in. If you have 4 days only, which side of the island should someone focus on? If you have a birthday, let's just throw this up here. Do you have a special restaurant?
4 days only, which side of the island should someone focus on? Okay, this is hard question.
So hard.
Yeah, 4 days. If you arrive in the north, like Olbia, go, for example, in the area of Arzachena. So this is and there are amazing places. We work with some of the most beautiful boutique hotels. Restaurants, you have many restaurants. I don't know what mentioned, but there are a lot of beaches and beautiful restaurants with an open, with your eyes open and beautiful beaches But what I suggest you, if you have only 4 days, go in Arzachena or go in Alghero. We didn't talk about Alghero. Alghero is the Spanish part of Sardinia.
Yeah,
Sardinia
it's
is
something we have to do. I think we need to do multiple presentations on this as we lead up to the fam trip there, because there's just so many options. So the question for Aileen is, reach out to Angela and she can make this happen for you those 4 days there, and she can help you put together that restaurant recommendation. We have another question really quick. Sometimes I find it difficult to sell Sardinia to Americans. As for beaches, Americans would rather go to the Mexico Caribbean. It is definitely for a returning traveler. So I agree, Elizabeth, it is so difficult, but I don't think it's for your normal all-inclusive traveler to Mexico. These are for, I feel like Sardinia is really for people who are a little more experienced in Europe. They like to return to Europe summer after summer, like me. I spend multiple months in Europe every year, and I'm looking for new destinations. And so I don't think it's actually your all-inclusive American family that you might shift there. I think it's going to either be an add-on or it's going to be for second-time visitors. Okay, one more question that we've got.
It can be for second visitors in Italy, but we talked before. Americans prefer the beaches of Caribbean, but if you tell them that, for example, when they are in Roma, they are in Florence, and they have 2 weeks, they can spend 3-4 days in one town of Sardinia. That can be Olbia, so the surrounding of Olbia, Zachena. It can be Cagliari, it can be Alghero for 3-4 days, and going deep in the authentic Italy. So it's you. It's up to you. I mean, the travel advisors sometimes need to suggest Americans to change a little bit their itineraries in Italy, because they know only Florence, Venice, Roma, Amalfi Coast. And you have to suggest something else. And this is why we organize farm tours. This is why we organize, like with you, those lives, to let you understand better the destination Italy, that is not only the 4 places that everybody know. And because you have to oblige, oblige clients to go to the travel advisors that are the experts. Now, clients can buy Florence, Roma, Venice by themselves. If the travel advisors now become a little bit more expert of Italy, that it's not just the 4 beautiful regions all over Italy, but they go in deep, Puglia, also Calabria, Sicily, Sardinia, Marche, Abruzzo. So they sell more, they teach to their clients that Italy is just more than that. They can have a chance, I always say that you can take the clients, because clients with the OTA, now they have the attitude to reserve by themselves hotels and some experiences. Right. They cannot reserve by themselves destinations like Sardinia, like Sicily. It's impossible, because you need some locals, you need some experts. And this is why your work is important.
And that's why Angela's Italy by experts. Okay, we have another question. I've always shied away from getting clients involved because of the language barrier and getting around. How difficult is communication? Because I don't really see a lot of Americans there or English spoken. And she's a former traveler to Sardinia and said she thought the communication was kind of difficult if you were not Italian or had a relative.
Let's say that now it's not like 10 years ago, that not a lot of people, except the people involved in tourism, in direct, spoke English. Now a lot of people, because until 10 years ago, the second language in school was French. Now is English. So also the kids started to learn some English words. So it's more easier than 10 years ago. But can I tell you something? The beauty of the south of Italy and also the islands are the language of hands. we always talk with Americans, and I make you laugh. In Sicily, I organize cooking classes in local families, and the local families don't speak in English. But my clients, even though we go with them with a translator, a guide, and so on, they easily understand the cooking class with the mama because we talk with hands. And it's not really so difficult. And I can reassure the travel advisor that a lot of people now speak English, few words to let them understand, so it's not so difficult.
Okay, we have another question, and this do you recommend this place for a family who has children?
Yes, absolutely. And there are some hotels that are specialists in families. There are some hotels that are very, because in Sardinia, there are some hotels that are adults only. And you can understand for two reasons. One, because they are inland, for example, in some rocks or countryside, very particular landscape, not adapted to kids. And the second thing is because they want to maintain tranquility and peace and quiet all around. But there are also hotels that are very specialist in families and kids, and they are mostly concentrated near the beaches, the sandy beaches. For example, we work with the two of them that they are specialists for families and kids, and they have also a particular staff that take care of kids, and is in the south, so near Cagliari. So you have to change the airport, not to the north, but to the south.
Okay, so let me take this off. Let's talk about the fam trips for a minute. Now, I know you guys are all wanting me to send you an itinerary today. I'm just going to give you kind of the dates that we're doing, and then that's coming in the next week or so. Okay, we're only going to have up to 10 advisor spots, and we are going to vet those. I mean, Angela wants the best people coming to Amalfi and Puglia is going to be our first fam trip, and that's raise the roof. I'm so excited about that. And then we're headed to Sicily the next week. So there's two different fam trips. You could do a back-to-back on that. So what are our dates for Amalfi and Puglia?
The 20 to 26 of March.
Yeah.
I'm trying to add one more night. So in the next few days, I will tell you the exact date, but the arrival will be 20 of March. So in this moment, the departure is 26. Let's say if we can do 2027, and then the next week, so from 27 or 26 or 27 until April 1, we will do Sicily, with an extension of 2 nights in Taormina for people that want to do Taormina, because in our fan tour there is no Taormina. There is it's mostly dedicated to the unknown Sicily.
So if you love that, give us a thumbs up or a like in the comments. I think it's going to be amazing. And so we have to go with the end of March because of availability. Obviously, these are the hottest destinations in Italy for not only Italians, but Europeans as a whole. I mean, pretty much for the whole world that's coming to Italy for the beaches. And so it's really hard to get space in the summer months, of course, and we can only do really last minute space. And so we're going to be coming out in the next week or two with the complete itinerary and the cost. You'll be able to find that by connecting back in this group, Luxury Travel Social Media and Marketing, or on the luxurytraveluniversity.com website. And that's where you're going to register for either the Amalfi and Puglia or the Sicily fam trip, or even both. And then come this fall, we're going to do one to Sardinia, and we haven't quite narrowed down the dates on that. And I feel like all of these are going to be super popular. So again, we're looking for people who want to upscale their business, who are looking to sell more in the premium and luxury space in Italy, and who want to learn more about growing and expanding your Italy market. So it's a win-win. Angela with Sicily and Italy by Experts, thank you for being here today. We learned so much. Any final thoughts?
The only thing, let's finish Sardinia with a phrase that Lawrence told: Sardinia is different.
Okay. And yeah, I think it is different. And I am so glad we had this little chit chat today. I feel like this is just a perfect add-on. It's a perfect 2-week getaway if you want it to be. So many options. I hope that you grow your base in Europe after watching this. Oh, real quick, Nancy says, are you going to do a Sardinia fam eventually? Yes, we are doing one in the fall, if you didn't just hear me say that. And Lisa Johnston says, thanks to both Angelas. She loved the presentation. So thank you guys for joining us today. I'm Angela Hughes, the luxury travel entrepreneur.
Ciao.